Are you ready? The Cornelia Stephanie Show. Wake up to love, your call to action. Join Cornelia as she empowers others to live heaven on earth. Cornelia teaches listeners how to be the authority over yourself, embracing your inner guru. Feel yourself uplifted into limitless expansion, integrating ease and grace in a changing world. This show will cover topics such as unconditional love, your physical body, how to be in extraordinary relationships, create financial and emotional wealth, embracing entrepreneurship in the new earth. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Cornelia Stephanie Show. It's an honor and a pleasure. This is the second podcast that we're doing today, and I'm super excited to be back again this afternoon. I have a brand new guest for us today, and we're going to talk about how to navigate these important, challenging times when all the emotional stuff comes up for us, and how do we navigate that with a lot of self-compassion, with a lot of inner grace. When shame comes up, how do we navigate that? And I brought with me Amanda Freeman, and she's from Australia. So it's over there. It's 10 o'clock in the morning now. It's 4 o'clock PST, Pacific time here. Welcome to the show, Amanda.
Thank you. Hello from the future. Over here.
So true. Hello from the future. Because that's, because tomorrow you are in Thursday already, and we're still in Wednesday.
Yeah. Pretty crazy.
It's totally crazy. It's amazing what having the internet, to be able to connect on the internet the way that we do. There's so much appreciation for technology when it works, right? When it works,
yep, absolutely.
So here we are, and let's tell the audience. Why don't you introduce yourself? Give a little bit of background to who you are, what you do over there in Australia, and how you guys are faring well over there right now. My gosh.
Sure. Yeah. Well, my name's Amanda, and my business falls under my name, Amanda Freeman, and I work a lot with women, particularly women entrepreneurs, space holders, creatives, who are really wanting to reclaim all of who they are so they can show up in the work that they do. So I'm kind of like the space holder for the space holder, space holder for the space holders. So yeah, working with a lot of women. It's a lot of unlearning, really, a lot of healing. So I do Reiki. I'm a Reiki master teacher and EFT practitioner. So we work a lot with the energetic, but we also look at mindset, plus our cultural, like structural paradigms that are affecting our well-being, plus also inspired action. So kind of a real mixed bag of healing and mentoring. So yeah.
You would probably be the person that I would go to if I needed someone to hold space for me, because I'm the space holder also. So I know, how necessary that is for people like us that have been paving the path and that are out there on the leading edge, and that are like, that have arrived there through the journey that we've had to navigate. And through that, we teach people how to hold space for us, right?
Yeah.
So we teach people how we want to be treated.
And it's big work, particularly, I mean, look, the last 2 years, there's not many space holders who've had a break. Everyone's kind of pushed to the limits of their energy. And so having someone to, be able to work through your own stuff has been a big reason why so many space holders have been able to do that. Without burning out and things like that. So it is important work, and like you do important work, all the space holders out there right now, and entrepreneurs and small business owners. There's been more expected of us than ever before in having to pivot our businesses. I know in Australia, you asked how we're going. We've just come out of our 6th lockdown. This one was 78 days long. So, it's been really challenging for small businesses, and a lot of women that I work with have children. So they're working from home, trying to run their business only online, no in-person allowed, plus homeschool their children. it's been really intense time. And so this week we're actually out of that. So again, there's big energy as we all try and integrate back in the world. Our children are trying to get back into, after being told it's not safe to go out. Now we're sending our kids back to school. See ya. Good luck. Like there's just so much reintegration challenges that are going on now. And even for business owners trying to navigate the government legislations of who's allowed to open, how you're allowed to open. Like it's just, I don't think my business is 11 years old. I've been supporting people, over a decade. I've never experienced a time like this where our energetic selves are so under strain and so much is expected of us as, as single human beings. So It's been really interesting time.
Yeah, I'm so glad you brought this up because you're the one that wanted to talk about these topics right here with, bringing another point of view to help calm people, and that there is a way. One of the things that because we recently had to go back out into the world where this was the same thing for us. What I found during that time the most important to me, like when I first found that, okay, now it's time to start going back outside, and like everyone is also feeling that, and then all of a sudden, how are we interacting with each other out there? What I found during that time is to give yourself a lot of space and a lot of grace.
Yes.
Because like basically like what you would think normally should only take about 30 minutes or whatever, be prepared, it's going to take a lot longer.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that that's exactly what I've been talking about as well, is definitely space and grace, but also being prepared that you're probably going to be triggered in ways that maybe you don't anticipate. So I know we had we had 0 cases for a really long time here in Melbourne. And then, of course, we shifted into that not happening. And so I remember when we had our first local case and I went out into the community after that. It was really close to where we live. And I actually had a full body reaction of panic, of like, oh my gosh, like this is real now. Now, I'm really grateful that I've got the tools and the awareness that I have to be able to go, okay, cool, this is triggering something. I'm having like a mini trauma response. What do I need to do now to tend to that? So I came home and I did some tapping. I did some journaling. I had a bath. I had an Epsom salt bath. I, really looked at, okay, this is normal. Like you haven't left the house much in, the better part of 3 months this time. So it's normal to have this. So I was able to take myself through a process of giving my energy what it needed, moving that through my body rather than it shutting me down. So I think having these conversations as well about, okay, the likelihood is no matter where you are in the world and what stage you're at, I guess, of the opening up and the closing down and things like that, is acknowledging that you're probably going to have times where there is a real fear response, because our nervous systems have been on edge for the better part of 2 years in some way, shape or form. And so it is taking people by surprise. Like, all I did was leave the house. Why am I having like essentially a panic attack? So understanding that that's a possibility and giving yourself that compassion, as we spoke about, to navigate that really mindfully rather than allowing your whole body and energy to sort of shut down, can be really, really powerful. And it doesn't have to be hard either. Probably the people who are listening here are pretty self-aware, I would imagine. They're already have some good self-awareness and probably some great strategies and techniques. But even me, as someone who does this for my work, it took me by surprise in that moment, that I thought I was doing fine. So I think
it's basically even the people that are adept in their tools, that have the tools. It's like being in that mastery now, that you are really being called to use your tools, your mastery tools. Now, what about the people that don't have the awareness and that don't have the tools?
I think, gosh, that is really hard. And there is unfortunately a big sort of mental health and physical health pandemic going on alongside the pandemic because of this. I think possibly it's just a matter of those of us who do have this awareness and can see that unfolding in someone, maybe it's just simply reaching out and saying, hey, this is a really tough time. Have you got some support right now? You're not alone. Because I think people are thinking, what's wrong with me? Like the people who don't have the awareness and the tools, what I'm seeing is, what's wrong with me? Why can't, we've opened up, we've been, so sad and depressed being stuck at home. Now we're open up. Why aren't I happy? So I think it's those of us who have that awareness and that understanding and that insight, talking about it publicly and saying, hey, I'm even struggling, really normalizing the fact that we're going to have these weird wobbles as we go through these different phases of opening, closing, whatever's coming at us next. So I think that's probably the most helpful, because I guess it's up to each person to decide when they want to reach out for more support when they're not, when they're not coping. But the more it's normalized in our conversations and the more they see other people modeling how they get through it, and that there's not something wrong with them. It's just we're all in a really weird time where we've been literally stretched on all levels.
Yeah. What was it in 1920, the Roaring 20s, when they had the Spanish flu or whatever? This time period reminds me of that time when everything changed. We went 1920s, then we went into deep, dark depression, 1926 or something like that. And then there was that Spanish flu. So all this, we're going through, so much change that I'm so glad that you brought up this topic so that we can normalize, we can have the conversations to remind everybody that, there's nothing wrong with you. It's normal to feel weird, and it's normal to feel like panicky, but the main thing is it's what you do with it to come back center, right? To come back to your peaceful center, right?
That's it. And I think, one of the things I loved when I did my EFT training was this phrase of emotions are just energy in motion. And when we look at these experiences from that perspective, it's not about never getting stuck. It's not about never feeling overwhelmed or never feeling, triggered. It's about how quickly we can move ourselves through it so that, we're not, what might have taken us 3 weeks to get over a particular triggering or overwhelm can take us 3 hours. So again, it's taking away that expectation. We're not looking for perfection. We're not looking for, the world never to throw us off balance. That's just not realistic. We're humans. We're having a human experience. But we can teach ourselves and support ourselves to move through these moments more quickly and with less discomfort. We are going to have discomfort being humans, but it doesn't have to take us out,
But the bottom line with what you're saying is that if we're triggered and if we're faced with overwhelm, or we're faced with shame, or we're faced with anxiety or fear, whatever it is, that it is there so that we can release the trauma, release the anxiety, release the feelings, and then move back into our wholeness, right? And to return back to a place of neutrality and being neutral. So we're not giving our power away to the situation because we're not victims.
Yes, absolutely. And I have a little 3-step process that I use with all my clients to do exactly that. It's simply noticing what's going on, noticing that something's, for example, you've been triggered by leaving the house for the first time in 3 months, let's say, acknowledging all that comes up, all of those feelings, emotions, the self-talk, the body sensations, just acknowledging everything without judgment, staying in that curiosity, and then healing, which is looking at, okay, what do I need right now? Do I need to book a session with my, mental health professional and really talk through what's going on? Do I need to go and have an energy healing? Do I need to go for a walk and get this moving out of my body? And you can go through that 3-step process instantly.
And you know what? That 3-step process, what you just talked about, is actually the secret of being human.
Yeah.
That's
Absolutely.
actually that's really it in a nutshell. We've had to, over our lifetime, from the last 40, 50 years and even beyond, we had suppressed our emotions. We had suppressed our feelings, and now we're having to feel all of it. And so that's a lot to deal with this day and time, this modern day, and to be with, all the grief and all the changing things that are happening with our governmental system, with our medical system, with our school
Yeah.
system, everything that needs to be changed. That's not sustaining human life, and that's not sustaining us in moving forward, needs to be reimagined, revisited, and re-looked at to see how can we make this better and how can we make it sustainable. But your three-step process is a tool to use as humans, that
Mm.
we need to, if we do those, just those three things, what you said right there, that's a key piece. When you don't know how to do it, the best thing to do is to contact someone, a practitioner, and they'll
Yeah.
show you how to do it, so that you can then feel confident until you know how to do it yourself, and then you can do it yourself. But that's why having a coach, or having a practitioner, having a person that you can talk things out with, so that you can actually be witnessed in your trauma, that you can be witnessed in your pain, and whatever it is that's coming up, and and someone like you to hold the space for the person. This is an important piece, because you've got someone that is listening to you, that's already modeling to you the non-judgment, the holding of the
Yeah.
space, the higher wisdom, and
And I
the
think that judgment is probably the thing that stops people from reaching out. The judgment from that they are afraid that they're going to get, but also the self-judgment of, what if it's too hard, or maybe I can't do this. And the great thing is that this kind of work, it's really simple. Like it's not often the big things in our lives that need tweaking for us to be able to come back to center. It's often just little nudges of, a little bit more self-care, or changing the way you do something, or changing the lens through which you're seeing yourself. Like, people, I think, often get scared that they're going to have to change all of who they are to get through a particular experience, or it's going to be really hard and there's going to be a lot of judgment. And often when you're in that space of paralysis, you are exhausted and you don't have the capacity for much anyway. And you kind of think, oh, it's all a bit too much. But yeah, if you do work with someone who has experience and is coming from that non-judgmental space, things can shift really quickly, and it doesn't have to be hard. If the time before and leading to whatever this experience a person is in is really hard, I think people think it's going to take that long to get back to normal, or do you know what I mean? Like, it seems to be a bit of a deterrent. But I think it's always nice to let people know that if you've got that intention, and how you are and what you're going through is not serving you, then things can move really quickly,
yeah.
just simply by those two things, that intention.
Yeah, and it's like you said, it's very simple. It doesn't have to be that you have to, change who you are. That's the thing, is that actually aligning with your true self
Yeah.
is actually who you're becoming, aligning with your true self. And that's the gift. That's the golden nugget, the realization in that. And really, it's very beautiful. It's very simple when we have that
Mm.
homecoming and that awakening, that I'm home, and
Yes.
that feeling.
I love that true self. I love that.
That true
Such
self.
a
Yeah. So now it's interesting, because you and I met in, we belong to this group, because we're both going to meet each other in the physical, which is really interesting, right?
yes.
In Vietnam,
Yeah.
that where we're both going to go next year. Do you remember when that date is?
No, I think it's mid-September
Okay,
from memory.
mid-September. Okay, wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
somewhere around there.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to find out when that date is, because there's a lot of movement happening
Mm.
2022. I mean, my
Yes, everyone's ready to
So a
ready
lot
to
of movement, lots of activity, lots of things going on. But I'm really looking forward to. We're going to Vietnam, and we're going to be they're part of Liesel's group over there, where we're going to be facilitating at participating in a retreat that's going, where people from around the world are coming to retreat and be presented with all these amazing speakers and hosts that are there to take whatever their craft is, which is really amazing. I'm looking forward to that.
Me too.
Yeah. So I want to, and I also introduced you, I told you, I introduced you to Diane McClay. She's one of our hosts in the Cornelia Stephanie Media Group, and she's part of my group, and she has a fantastic podcast. So it will be great once you and her connect, and she'll have you on her show. And that's going to be super fun because Diane is an amazing host. She's incredible, and you're going to feel really proud to be there as well.
Yay. Love it. Well, I love chatting all about this kind of thing. I think we are moving into a space where, this kind of work is more accessible than ever. And given the experiences and the challenges we've all had collectively, it's like everyone feels open, or mostly everyone feels open to really reassessing how they're navigating the world and finding ways to do it that are really supportive and nurturing, and really moving away, particularly, and one thing I'm definitely passionate about, moving away from that hustle culture and that, that way of being in the world that's so disconnected from our true selves. So,
Yeah. It's not about being in the hamster wheel anymore. It's about returning back to your physical body, returning back to nature, and really listening to the promptings of your soul. What is it that you really came here to experience? So, Amanda, how can people find out a little bit more about you? When people see this video, you're going to be sharing it with your community back in Australia, because then there's people here that might want to contact you for personal sessions, but let's give them the website and how they can get in contact with you.
So it's just www.amandafreeman.com.au, and you can find out all the offerings I've got there. I work with people all over the world, so I do distant sessions. So that's super easy. But yeah, I'd love to connect with anyone who has found today helpful, and just reach out, send me a DM. All my social links are on my website as well. So happy for people to reach out that way as well. But I'm looking forward to sharing this with my community as well, because it's, as we've noticed, it doesn't matter where you are in the world, we're all dealing with this same collective experience, aren't we?
Yes, we are. Yes, we are. And so one other thing I wanted to share is you are a mother of two, right? You have two?
I am.
And how old are your kids?
My girls are 15 and 17.
15 and 17. And so how are they navigating, and how are you navigating with this whole situation, right? How is
Look,
that?
it's been really interesting, because this is the age where our kids are supposed to be disconnecting from us as parents and really finding their own feet and really breaking those apron strings and exploring who they are. And they've literally been stuck in our house with my husband and myself for like most of 18 months. So it's been really interesting to witness them trying to establish their own selves. And we've, tried to give them as much space as we can. So I'm definitely excited for them this week as they go out and start being able to connect with friends and really stretch their wings and things like that. But yeah, when I look back to what I was doing at their age, it certainly was not sitting at home 24/7 with my parents. So I think it's going to be really interesting to see how they now step into their own selves and navigate. But I mean, I've loved it. It's great having kids around all the time. No parents want their kids to grow up on some level. So for us, it's kind of been nice, but for them, definitely challenging. And I'm really looking forward to seeing them, find their feet as young adults. And they've done amazingly. Like, they're incredible kids that have really just had such tenacity in getting through this time. So I think it's going to be maybe a positive thing for them as they get older in some way, in showing them that they can literally survive. They can get through this. They can do anything. So
well, they come from a good foundation too, because with a mom like you, that's got all this amazing holistic training. It's wonderful, because you're modeling that at home, and it sounds like your husband is in full support of all of this. So what a blessed family that they have a good foundation. So it's wonderful to hear, because the kids from today, they really need those stable foundations, and also know that we can heal from the wounds of our past, that we don't have to. We're here to make the world a better place for our future leaders, and our future leaders are the children, your children. those are the future leaders of this world. And so we need to make sure that everything we haven't done right before, that we make it right now. And
Yeah.
that's the important thing. The way we can do that is by loving each other, having self-compassion, self-honoring. You use that word in your promo, and
Yeah.
it's an important piece. So I'm so glad that you came on, Amanda. It was
Me
wonderful.
too. So lovely to chat with you.
Yes. And so I want to tell the audience right now, I have a very special invitation for everyone. And that is, and this is including you too, Amanda, is I just recently have a new app, and it's the Cornelia Stephanie Media Group
Wow.
app.
An
And
app. Awesome. Okay, I'll have to write this down.
what we're going to do is we're going to go to the Play Store, go to the App Store. And what you're going to do is you're going to type in KS and leave a space, not type in a space, leave a space, and you're going to type in media, MEDIA group. So KS Media Group, you're going to download the KS Media Group app from your Play Store or App Store. Now you're going to sign in and create a free account. The app is free. And now you're going to be able to get the access, all the incredible hosts and podcasters and influencers, because I feature the world's best influencers in their field inside this app. And you can find them all under directories. And so whatever type of practitioner you're looking for, if you're looking for a gratitude coach, if you're looking for a space holder, if you're looking for a body whisperer, a doctor, whatever kind of person, an entrepreneur coach, a confidence coach, nutrition, whatever it is, those are the people that are in that app, and we are wanting to inspire you to live your best life. So there's all kinds of podcasts in there, articles, everything on well-being and health that you can imagine. And it's a place where you don't really have to go anywhere else. You can just be in there. And I mean, there's so much content there that you're just gonna love it. There's a lot of inspiration, and everyone is there to serve you,
Amazing.
the audience. And so for those of you that are wanting to look at being featured with your business, feel free to reach out to me at Cornelia, or you can reach out to me at radio@corneliastephanie.com. You can also private message me on Facebook to become one of our founding members in the app, and let's have a conversation. And that's it. So make sure, hurry up, go get the app, download it so you're not missing out on anything. And I just want to thank everybody for listening and tuning in to today's show. Stay tuned because we have many other shows coming in these next few days. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you, Amanda.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.